Hey Bryce, did you hear Katana Zero is now finally classified here in Australia?
Oh, fantastic. That's great news. I'm glad they're finally listening to us.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like Sharon down the road's too happy about it.
Kids! Kids, get inside! Quick! There's another violent video game on the loose!
Mum, it's fine!
No, it's not! Get inside! Ah!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the award-winning Nintendo podcast backed by 120 Power Star rating. And the doors to episode 98 are open. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is one of the 7 Digi-destined Bryce DeWitt.
It's all because of them Tamagotchi re-releases.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, Bryce just showed me that they're re-releasing like the Digimon Tamagotchi, which is
20th anniversary, by the way.
Are they 20 years old?
They are 20 years old.
Was it 2000? It was 2003 when I had my Digimon Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
And that was basically like the lead into getting my Game Boy and becoming like a huge nerd as far as gaming goes. So it's a pretty special thing for me anyway. Yeah.
That is for me.
And that's how we became friends, because I remember you were I was with Adam and Jordan, and I was like, is there any other kids around here we can like battle with and stuff? And they pointed over to like, you know, yourself, Thomas, and like whoever was in that group at the time. Yeah. And that's how we become friends. So
yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get together, battle Digimon, you're immediately friends.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
And I was saying before, I remember killing your Digimon and feeling bad about it.
Yeah. It's alright. It's okay, because I'll pop a cap for my Digimon.
That sounds so weird now, these pull cap.
Yeah, they're getting rid of them.
They are they?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you... Okay, so little context. They're Carlton Dry bottles. They changed the caps on them because they thought it was a good idea to try and bring back pull ring tops again. Well, they were wrong because people started slicing their fingers up and shit. And
I'll be honest, I don't know how you'd slicing your finger up, but
well, just people.
You got to be a bit careful. You got to be a bit more careful. It's not just a twist bottle like it used to be.
Crown caps are just better. They're the superior things.
I agree. Just because instead of getting the you go, well, you heard the sound. I have to redo it. But So anyway, this is a Nintendo podcast. This isn't a Digimon Tamagotchi or Carlton Dry podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
On the show, we're going to be talking about a bit more about Detective Pikachu, how it's still performing well at the box office.
The box office.
Yeah,
it's doing really well at the box office.
Yeah, it's doing very well at the box office, as Bryce said.
Exactly, yeah.
There's been a little bit of an upgrade. We can see from a screenshot of Pokemon Sword and Shield how Nintendo Switch is doing in Japan, and much more. But Bryce, I just want to bring up that in the sort of near future, I want to start doing some community nights with members of the community, especially in our Discord.
Well, yeah, it's been a long time coming. Every time, I mean, I brought that up ages ago, but we just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's life, man. It's life. You know,
it is.
Like I want to get around to organising all these things, but life just keeps happening.
Yeah,
but now we might be able to.
Yeah. So this is nothing's organised yet. This is just what we're thinking, that like the night of Nintendo's Direct at E3. So our time, it will be their Direct is 1 o'clock Wednesday morning on the 12th.
Yeah.
So on the lead up to that, we're going to be doing hopefully going to be doing like a community night over on one of our Twitch channels, wherever we are, I guess. Yeah. You can easily set it up.
Yep, it'll probably start late at night, I would say. Because what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get a family all good to go and all that shit, and then hopefully come here and we'll start something up. So
you want to come here for E3 this year? Is that the plan? Or?
Presumably. I mean, you've got work to do the next day. I can take that day off. It's not a big deal for me. So I remember last year we did it at your place, so you can cook tea and all that, do all that fun stuff. All that mumbo jumbo, yeah. And Jade also had work that night, whereas the situation now is sort of like, 2 kids and one wakes up really easy. So probably just be easier to do it here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Easier then. Organisational things on the podcast. Yeah. So probably easiest way just to keep up to date with that is just
the House of Mario on Twitter or myself at iDruby on Twitter. See what's going on. See what the plans are.
Yep.
Anyway, Bryce, let's get into the news.
The news. You
always like your wordplay. Just instead of news, it's news, or Drew, it's boo. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. All right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
That's funny because you're right.
Yeah, it's always funny when someone's right. So, Bryce, Detective Pikachu is number one at the international box office for the second weekend in a row.
The international box office, yes.
Yes, he did it again, folks. He is a funny lad.
Yeah.
So, Detective Pikachu has been nothing of a success. For the second weekend in a row, the movie has topped the international box office. Detective Pikachu received 53,800,000. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It takes a long time to say numbers. But it made a lot of money, in the millions. So that was in foreign markets.
Multi-millions, yeah.
And since launch earlier this month, Detective Pikachu has earned $287 million worldwide.
Yep, that's nuts.
So
it's quarter way to $1 billion, Drew.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, it's getting there, getting to the billion.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so there will be a sequel, whether we like it or not, which we do. We do like it.
We've already known there is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've already said something about it. So,
but even if they weren't, there definitely will be.
yeah, because it's money, you know.
Yeah,
and I mean, just thinking about it, like when it comes to video game adaptations, and I did put this out on Twitter, but like most of them almost always get pandered ridiculously.
Yeah,
and the highest rated one to this day that is a video game movie adaptation was actually Rampage, which was probably the most recent adaptation before Detective Pikachu of a video game to a movie. But as somebody said, it's like I'm pretty sure it was Dylan said it's a shining gem on top of a mountain of doo-doo. And it's like, yes, and then most of that doo-doo was created by Uwe Boll, who ruins anything he touches. So, there we go. If you've heard of a video game adaptation into a movie, it's probably done by Uwe Boll, and it's probably garbage.
Just taking like IP that's well known and just
massacre the shit out of it. Yeah, he does that with like every single goddamn movie he makes. He just wants to see it cash in because it's a market where it's like anybody that's a fan of that game will be like, "I'll watch that,"
Yeah, all those Rampage fans just wanting a narrative and a movie experience.
Yeah, I mean, because Rampage was, full of story, being a good old game on like I think it was like the fucking SNES or the Dreamcast or some shit.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's like all right, it's it's got a big monster in it. What can we do? Let's bring The Rock in. It's an action movie. Yeah, let's go.
I actually liked the movie though. Like that was not a bad movie. I thought it was great.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So Rampage is actually pretty good.
I should give it a whirl.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine there's like 3 or 4 Titanic monsters fighting in a city, and they're just destroying the shit out of it, and it's just like. It's basically like King Kong, but with more damage.
Yeah. A lot more Rampage.
Yeah.
Oh. Look, I can do it too. Thanks, mate.
I'm done now.
Yeah, that's enough. So, Bryce, there was a Splatfest, which I didn't even know was still going in Splatoon. I thought that...
Yeah. I knew it was going. Because I pay attention to Splatoon news.
Oh, well...
In 2019...
Apparently I don't. I should. I really like Splatoon. I would like to go back to it. I just haven't.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So the most recent Splatfest, it pitted time travel against teleportation, and teleportation 1-0-0. No, 3-0. Sorry.
Yeah, 0.
0-0.
I kind of expected this with this Splatfest because. The amount of people that would have joined the teleportation team would have been insane, just because of the general rule of if you go back in time and mess with something, then you could change the future forever, right? Like that's the thing in everybody's mind. So why would you pick time travel?
You could use time travel to teleport.
You could use maybe
kinda
maybe.
I mean, it won't be convenient for you, but for everyone else,
there's a lot of things you could do with time travel. Like you could time travel back, and you could go and kill Hitler or something. But you don't know what kind of an effect that's going to have.
Yeah, no, sounds dangerous, Bryce. I wouldn't muck around with that stuff.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Like teleportation, getting all your fibers and that to all get back together once you've gone to the place you want to be. That's dangerous too.
But if you ever thought it might not work like that, it might be like a portal. You step into the portal, and it basically just shrinks the size of Earth until you get to your destination, and then you go plop.
Yeah, well, we won't know until we talk to a scientist. We really should have brought a scientist on this week.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we need Elon Musk or something.
Yeah, so tell us about teleportation, and why did teleportation beat time travel in the recent Splatfest? We need to know these answers.
Yeah, it's going to be like a History Channel documentary.
Yeah. So next up, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Fire Emblem Heroes have been pulled from Belgium because of the recent changes in their laws of like loot boxes and microtransactions.
Not surprising.
Yeah, so Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Fire Emblem Heroes have been turned into a slow-burning success for Nintendo since their releases. However, these games are far from invincible. As a response to the recent crackdown on microtransactions and loot boxes in Belgium, Nintendo has decided to end support in the areas for its two of its most popular mobile games, Fire Emblem Heroes and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. The company has also stated that future games with similar revenue models will not be released in Belgium.
And that includes Dragalia Lost.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
That is sad. That's like when these rules come in, like, the peak of like the microtransaction, the loot box fiasco, like back in 2017 when EA was just, well, not just EA, but they're a prime example with the Battlefront games and all that, how they were just sort of like really taking a lend of its customers and user base with trying to get as much money out as possible.
Yeah.
Like, when these laws come in, it's like, yes, good, don't allow that. But, like, sort of the way these games are using microtransactions, it's really not that bad.
Well, questionable.
Well, the thing is with, like, a loot box in a Battlefront game, you're buying at full price, you're $60, even if it's on sale, you might be paying $50, and you want to play the multiplayer, and to actually be good at it, you need to be putting more money into it. Whereas this, at least it is free initially.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I would argue that a lot of gacha systems, gacha expert here, by the way, I play so many of the fucking games. I would actually argue that a lot of gacha games do their games incredibly money hungry.
Yeah.
Dragalia Lost, as I've probably brought to many people's attention before, is actually probably one of the better ones in terms of like usability. The top tier character in any list at the moment is a 4-star character, so it's not even something that like appears on like a 0.5% chance. Like it comes up sort of thing. And then like 3-star characters are seeing their way in new content, and they're characters that you get literally like 90% of the time when you're getting things. So it's sort of like really Dragalia Lost is super generous in that regard. Fire Emblem Heroes, I've learned if you want to compete, you have to have like 10 copies of a unit. So you can merge them into one and increase their stats by plus 10 level. And that is a lot more money demanding than it sounds. So, yeah, if you want to be the best at Fire Emblem Heroes, you really have to dump money into it. And as for Pocket Camp, I can't imagine they'd be. I'd imagine that's just purely cosmetic.
Yeah, you buy like Leaf tickets, and you can sort of speed up, renovations and things like that. Right, yeah. Things like that. And this article from Nintendo Enthusiast also brings up that like other developers, they've gone into their games to sort of change the microtransactions and the things you can spend your money on to sort of better suit the rules in Belgium, whereas Nintendo has taken the route just to be like, nah, just take it all off, like just remove the support altogether.
Well, because at the same time, that's development costs and timing to change all of that shit, and it's unfair to the rest of the world that are like, why can't we have that? I'm sure there are a lot of people that are like, You know what? I'd love to be able to grind just to get X character. That'd be fantastic. I wouldn't have to pay money to, do it for them. It's like, so why can't we do that? And like I said, in the face of something like Dragalia, where you get premium currency, in quotations, all the time, there's not really any point.
Yeah.
But it's still counted as a gambling system in its own right, so makes it kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
So sorry, Belgium. Sorry that you get to miss out on one of the best fucking mobile games on the market.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll have to set up a proxy and
well, they probably
keep it going. Yeah.
It wouldn't really be that hard. I mean, people in Australia were playing Dragalia Lost before release as well, as I've come to find out.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
Yeah. Because all you had to do was just use the American APK and then go from there. It really wasn't that big of a deal. It really makes me question as to why they released that game as they did. They're like, oh, hey, there's in Japan and America, and now we're not going to release it for another country for a couple months. They do that, and then 6 months later, they're like, here's 6 countries. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, especially like Australia seems to get the game first, just because it's a small nation and it's easy to sort of like test the waters with software.
Well, we did with the latest Pokemon one too.
Yeah.
We got it first, but like something like Dragalia for some reason ended up 6 months later here.
Yeah.
I'm really confused at how that works.
Just odd. Yeah.
It's really strange. But oh well.
Yeah.
Can't do nothing about that.
Moving on, there's been a screenshot that's revealed that Pokemon Sword and Shield, the graphics have improved a little bit. So this isn't really news as such. A game in development is being developed on and looks better.
Wow.
Wow, exactly. But it is interesting just to bring up. So, a Pokemon news site, Cerebi, has recently reported that Sword and Shield will feature trainer customization. This isn't too surprising, as customization has been around since Pokemon X and Y, but the announcement revealed something else. This is like a clothing brand. Uniqlo. Uniqlo and the Pokemon Company recently held a t-shirt designing contest. The winning shirt, themed around Magikarp and Gyarados, was then announced as an in-game item in Sword and Shield. The two companies released some screenshots to show off the t-shirt in-game. People soon began analysing the new screenshot, and they noticed areas where the graphics were improved. The game researcher N Fade then made a handy GIF to demonstrate the changes. So I've just shown you the GIF before. You can see like little it's basically like a picture of the female character in front of her house at the very start of the trailer, and you can just see that like all the plants and the grass and bits of the windows and all that are just like got more detail in them.
Yeah.
So it really not much news, but if people were looking at it going, oh, it looks like the 3DS game, still not much of an improvement as far as graphics and that go. The game is still being developed on. It's still got a few months before it's going to go gold. So
yeah,
not too much worry in the graphics department. Like personally, I thought the graphics looked fine initially anyway.
Yeah, it looked pretty.
Yeah, so
it looked really pretty.
The fact that still working on the visual side of it, that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is the big one, Bryce. The Nintendo Switch has now outsold the PlayStation 4 in Japan.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah. So
holy crap.
Yeah.
You think about that. You think about that for a minute. Holy shit.
Well, it's been out the PlayStation 4. Well, it's been out 3 years less than the PlayStation 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah. And even when you're like, but Japan, it's all about handhelds over there and all that. It's still like, the PlayStation 4. It's still a PlayStation console, which lots of Japanese gamers, buy for Persona 5. And
I was actually reading something on that, to be honest. A lot of people that are living in Japan abroad, coming from United States or Australia, stuff like that, etc., a lot of them have commented that actually it's not as widespread as you think. Like, handheld gaming in itself isn't the only reason people are consuming, the only method people are consuming video games in Japan for, because they're just trams are tight and stuff like that. There's always people on them. There's not enough room to sit and play something like the Switch. Yeah, it's just convenient. And the thing is, is like when you stack up between a PlayStation and a Nintendo console in general, they're both giants in Japan. Like, they're huge.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation has such a big grip on, like, anime-esque games and all that stuff. It really appeals to sort of otaku culture, all that. But the Switch is just such a convenient console. And it's not because people are on the move or whatever. It's just easier to have in their own home.
Yeah.
Which is really strange. Like, I initially thought that, yes, it was because of Japan's big bustling lifestyle. Apparently, Japanese consumers just really like it.
Mm.
And I mean, I guess so. I guess they would.
Yeah, well, I guess it was the same with the PlayStation Vita as well. Like, that was being kept alive by, like, the Japanese. Like, games were still coming out for it. For, like, even earlier this year from, like, Japanese developers like Bandai Namco and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, the Vita only went out of production earlier this year too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they really like it. Like, Vita didn't do so well over here in America and that, but Japan kept it going. Same with the PSP.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff.
They just prefer handheld consoles in general, I guess. It's not for any particular reason. They just like them better. I guess maybe TV time's probably more denoted to family time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And then a lot of Japanese consumers also play video games on their PCs as well. Like, when they're in their room, they don't really... I mean, people... they do have TVs in their bedroom, like, a good chunk of the time, but I guess just with technology and all that, PC does a pretty big job there too. I don't know. It's really strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the sales figures, it's hard to believe that even with an extra 3 years on top of it, that PlayStation's lost out.
Yeah.
It
is interesting as well. Like, news came out that Days Gone, like the recent Sony exclusive, is like outsold like God of War and that over in Japan as well. Which is, that was also really surprising because it was like, why is Days Gone, it's like, it's based in America, it's about motorbikes and zombies and stuff. Why is that like so much more appealing than like other Sony first party games? It's like a bit of a head scratcher as well.
Well, maybe with God of War I could probably understand it. I feel like even in a Western culture we grew up with all these references to like Greek religion and all that,
Yeah, I can say that with God of War too, but it's just like
a Norse religion.
But with Days Gone, it's like it's selling really well.
Yeah, but it's a zombie game.
Yeah, it's just another zombie game, and they're like, cool.
And everybody understands zombies. Like, there's not a single person on planet Earth that doesn't understand zombies.
Yeah,
but
I mean, there'll be a few people
with mythology. With mythology and stuff, I guess it's just sort of like we as Westerners grew up with a lot of stuff that referenced mythology, like Hercules, for example. And a lot of us read the Odyssey in school. There's a shit ton of examples there, but I guess maybe that's why, because Japan understands zombies more than they do Greek mythology. I guess makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Switch has sold 8,100,025,637 units, where it's just ahead of the PlayStation 4 at did I say 6 million? It was 8 million. I don't know why I said 6. Yeah, the PlayStation 4 is at 8 million, and just under the Switch basically. Yeah. So we'll see if like the PlayStation 4 gets like a resurgence and like takes over again or whatever. But yeah.
I'm not sure it will. When they become cheaper, they'll get a pretty big resurgence, but yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
Until then.
Yeah, so we'll move on. Bryce, last week, Mario Maker got a big blowout, its own direct, 17 minutes, just all dedicated to Mario Maker.
Yep.
So we're not going to go through everything because this was a week ago. People have already, you guys have already checked it out and everything. But what did you think of all the information that come out? Did this make you more excited about the game, or are you sort of just like, oh, yeah, it's what I expected? Yeah.
Well, I've gone on record saying that plenty of times as well, is that Mario Maker would be good to see on the Switch, and I think it's probably just going to be a bit more of that, plus, some extra. Obviously, there's the added story mode or whatever, where you've got to apparently rebuild Peach's castle,
yeah.
but...
That looked really good. I'm happy that's there. Like it's not just like a bit of like a few levels. It's actually like something to actually like
engage you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I get that, but the true purpose of Mario Maker in the end is for people to make their own custom levels. And like, people have been doing this on PC ROM hacks for years, like Kaizo and etc. But it's just so convenient that you can just do it on a Nintendo console and share levels and stuff like that. And I think it's really good that hopefully this is just going to keep continuing. Do you know what I mean? With the death of the Wii U and Mario Maker being introduced on the Wii U, there was always that bit of worry of, hopefully it doesn't just sort of die there, because it was a really good community game. And that's what I mean about the software. It's just stuff like that really, really brought light to sort of Nintendo's better side. So it's good to see Mario Maker 2's hitting Switch. And I hope that, like, with time to come, maybe we'll see more. And that the series sort of holds up, because I think it's a really good community sharing based sort of system.
Yeah, and like Mario Maker, like on the Wii U back like 2014, that's when I didn't have the internet, so like same with Splatoon as well. I didn't get to like play as much as I would have liked.
Yeah.
So now it's on the Switch. I got good internet, etc. I'm gonna like give it like a real good go.
Good.
Play lots of levels, try and make some of my own, because like. When we did that Let's Play like, you know, years ago, when we did the Mario World levels.
Oh yeah.
And it was like basically like an introduction to all of like the real hardcore mechanics of Mario World, like what the speed runners might use and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like blown away with like how intricate it all is, how hard to pull off some of it is, like, you know, doing hops off things and like going through doors that have no ledges underneath them and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's when Destiny 2 came out, I listened to the Destiny community podcast, and they were talking about stuff, and I think someone like a reader or someone brought up a question saying, it's too complicated. It was like something along those lines, and one of the guys on there said, you know, if it's too complicated, go and play Mario. Like basically saying, you know, Mario's a baby's game, it's easy. But I don't think he's seen anything that's come out of Mario Maker or anything like that. Like,
right, even look, you've only got to look at Kaizo Bros to really see how friggin' intricate Mario can be. Like, I get that Mario is marketed as like a children's property or whatever, but with Mario Maker and things like it comes ways for people who are more veterans to the series to sort of introduce their own take into it and have some real fun. You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, there's always, like, I think the Game Grumps did, like, 70 episodes of Mario Maker. 70.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was just raging at Ross's levels. Because Ross is a sadistic bastard.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing them, yeah.
So, you know, just even things like that. You know? You don't have to look very far to find a really hard, old Mario level. You know, you can go download Kaizo, or you can pick up Super Mario Maker and look at some of the harder levels on that, and yeah, you could be stuck on a level for hours.
Yeah, and like it showed like the like the night mode where you can like, and it has like different effects for all of the different styles.
Yeah,
so it has like zero gravity and like just cool things like that, and it changes the angry sun to, I guess, the happy moon. But that's really interesting, and it's like there are so many options to make awesome levels in this that just weren't in the first one. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what people bring up, and also Super Mario 3D World, how that's its own separate mode. So if you're making a game in one of the other styles and you want to swap, it just basically deletes your level, and because the mechanics are so different in the 3D World, and it left a section that's open to another, I guess, style or set of mechanics. I was just wondering, what do you think it could be? Do you think it could be like Mario Galaxy? Could it be like a throwback to maybe one of the Game Boy games? I guess one of the Game Boy games would be similar to the other stuff though, but I'd love to see like Galaxy. I think that'd be cool with like the gravity stuff, how you could maybe use that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a cool idea, but I don't think they'd go that far complicated through a 3D Mario. That's the thing.
Mm.
And I mean, I know that 3D World sort of is a 3D Mario, but at the same time, it follows the same sort of level scheme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Super Mario Land?
Yeah. I was thinking like it could be one of the Game Boy games, but then that would be like a very similar sort of in like the way its mechanics works, and you could just like swap over the palettes then. Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know. I'm sure there's something I'm missing that would fit perfectly in that spot, but I'm just not sure.
Would be, like, maybe they'll make something new. Maybe that'd be like a... I think we'll see like that... whatever it's going to be at E3, they'll reveal it there. Obviously.
It'll just be Minecraft. There you go.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. There you go.
Just what we need. Yeah. It would be cool if they just have something brand new, which is like something like, say, like what, like the Rayman art style. It's like a hand drawn thing. Like, here you go. Here's a completely different thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be pretty sick. Just like
imagine if it was a Yoshi's Island one.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that as well. Like Yoshi's Island, that'd be awesome.
How cool would that be?
Yeah,
having a Yoshi Island maker sort of thing, because it is technically the same series. It's the Mario series of platformers,
yeah.
just with a different character.
Yeah, like Yoshi's Island, like the mechanics, but you're not playing as Yoshi. You still are Mario.
Yeah,
that could be pretty cool.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'd still like to be able to play as Yoshi there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's like a lot.
I really want Yoshi's Island. That'd be sweet. Something hand drawn and just completely different, but looks different. Because even though, like, you put 3D World like on its side, it looks like New Super Mario Bros. To an extent. Yeah, like it would be cool to have something like really drastically different.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it goes to like the online features and everything, but we don't have to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is they've got the Invitational at E3. They announced that as well. Yeah. So alongside Super Smash Bros. And Splatoon, they're doing a Mario Maker 2 thingamajig there. So looking forward to seeing that. I really enjoyed it when they had it in the World Championships a few years ago now. It was really cool seeing it in that and all the challenges they came up with, and yeah.
Should be good.
So yeah, looking forward to this game. So actually now I remember they brought out Switch vouchers as well. Did you look into these vouchers that were announced?
It's basically just digital coupons that buy you 2 games for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, so this is like the most Nintendo thing ever. Instead of being like, all right, you remember you can have $10 off of Nintendo published games. Instead of just being like that.
Yeah.
But instead it's like, all right, so you've got to buy these 2 vouchers. So if you want, a discount on one game, we've got you. You've got to get 2. And like and also like you're buying these vouchers, you're pretty much getting the game for, was it Australian? It's $65 each. No, a bit more than that. Yeah, 60. It's like you save $13.50 a game basically if you buy these vouchers,
and that's full price.
And that's full price. But they've got options like 1-2 Switch and a few other games which work out less than these vouchers.
Yeah,
and I think like. Really, why are they offering those games as the vouchers? Like, you can't gift these. These aren't vouchers like, Bryce, go and buy what you want. Yeah. And you're like, oh, cool, I'll buy 1-2 Switch. This is just me being like, I want to save some money. But then they offer 1-2 Switch, and there's like, what's it called? That Square Enix game, what's it called? What was on DS? World Ends With You. They have that, which is less than like one of these coupons.
Yeah,
it's like why are you doing that? That just seems like you're trying to get more for the game.
Yeah, it's kind of a bullshit system.
Yeah. So like I'll use this obviously because I buy all my games on digital, but just for the fact that it's more complicated than it needs to be. Yeah. Really, it should be an incentive. Like if you all remember, you get $10 off Nintendo published games. It should be that simple, really.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like when we were talking about the online service on the lead up to its launch, I was really hoping that this would be one of the options that you get money off games, because then that would be really worth it to me. But yeah, I guess this is better than nothing at least. Like next month, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and Fire Emblem come out.
Yep.
So you buy these vouchers and you're good for the month. But, next month it's the same thing again. Like, there's a fair few games coming out, so you'll get your money's worth.
I think it'll be a pretty big pass for me, to be honest. Like, I don't buy games digitally that often as it is. And when I do get them digitally, it's more than likely coming from, like, a bonus code, or, good example for that is, like, Bayonetta. Getting Bayonetta 1.
Because you bought the first one.
No, I bought the second Bayonetta.
That's what I meant, so, yeah.
Got the first game for free. So it's just sort of like, I don't know. Is there really much point in me caring about this sort of system at all? Like, I get that it seems like they are really trying to push the console to be digital download heavy. But for me, that's the indie games more than it is, full blown first party published. So I don't know. I guess I just don't see the point in it at all. A lot of launch day prices sort of rack up to around about the same discount. So it might not be digital. You'll be getting it physical, but
yeah, well, especially here in Australia, like, it doesn't seem like the deals in that are so much in the US, but here, you can get the game, sometimes $30 cheaper.
Yeah, if you look at the right place.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy for some of the games that come out just because of how high our price is to start off with. But yeah. No, like, this is better than nothing. This is a way for me to get $13.50 off of each first party Nintendo game. It's just a bit more of a, you've got to pay a bit. If you only want one game, you've got to pay for basically two at once.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying.
And you've got to have, if you don't have the money, or you don't want to be spending the money, and you've got you want to get one game and pay the bills or whatever that week, whatever it might be. Yeah, it's a bit more of a pain, but yeah, it's better than nothing. So use it if it works for you. I'll be using it from time to time. You can have 4 lots at once, so you can have 8 coupons at once, and they last for a year. So just the idea of, like, stacking up like that many at once.
And then going zip zap zop.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Just be like, all right, I'll buy 8. Yeah. And last of all, as far as news goes, Bryce, Katana Zero is now being classified in Australia. Yeah. So round of applause. The government, they looked at it and said, you know what? It's not that bad. Come on, get a grip, boys. And now it's coming out.
Get a grip, boys. We've been allowing GTA on our store shelves for years, where 8-year-old kids have been buying it.
They've been listening to a couple of other Nintendo podcasts, and they've been saying like it comes up in the thing saying, it's coming out. Katana Zero is coming out in Australia at the end of the month, and everyone's like, didn't it come out there already? Like, why? What's going on? It's like, no, it didn't, because it's got blood and swords.
Oh no! You can't have that in your video game.
You can't. Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, God, it's a shame. So, Bryce, let's move on to a little bit of what we've been playing. You've been playing a game you love very much. It's on the mobile device, and it's not Dragalia Lost. You finally found your way out of Dragalia. So tell us a bit about what you've been playing on the old mobile phone.
I don't know whether to hit you for that statement or what.
Yeah, well, you can if you like. There you
go. So after some little leaks had gotten out, finding out what was the company? Dena? I think it was Dena.
I don't know.
DENA or something.
DNA. You talking about DNA?
I guess so.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know the company too well. That's just kind of how I know them by. But they come out with like their figures or something like that, and then this Pokemon game for mobile was leaked, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's a new Pokemon mobile game coming soon." It turns out Australia got it first. It came out the other week under a shadow guise that just randomly went poof and into existence again, and it was Pokemon Rumble Super Rush.
Tell us about Pokemon Rumble Super Rush, Bryce.
Pokemon Rumble Super Rush is a very, very boring game where you set your Pokemon out to go, you tap Pokemon to attack them, and you can dodge roll sometimes if you want, but you can actually get away with just tapping the screen the entire game.
The old taparoo, eh?
You have to try and find Pokemon on the map, and that usually requires you to have some sort of research thingy. once you've found a place that you can explore, you can enter it and just do the same thing consistently over and over and over again. And honestly, like the Rumble games in themselves were always sort of you know. There was a free one on Wii U, if that says a lot.
Yeah, I had the one on 3DS because this is when our target country was getting rid of games.
Yeah,
they had it for like $15. I'm like, yeah, why not? $15 for a 3DS game. And I think I played it for like half an hour. I'm like, this is very just.
It's very, very basic.
It's not even bad. It's just like, this is really boring.
Yeah, it's stupid basic, but like imagine that, but on a mobile platform, and it's even more basic.
Yeah, they're taking like stuff out of it. From its mechanics, yeah.
That and just like it's like an auto scroller, and you tap your enemy every now and then. It's not. There's no like, as far as I can tell so far, there's no skill really involved or anything. It's just like, oh, watch out, this Rattatar's using tackle, but it's okay because you probably can't dodge it anyway. And even if you did, it's just going to do the same thing over again. You hit it twice and it's dead. You eventually make your way to the boss. You beat the boss by tapping it a bunch of times. The end. Yeah, it is so Pokemon Rumble that it outbeats any other Pokemon Rumble at being Pokemon Rumble. It's really boring.
Okay, what's the collection aspect like? You know, the combat's not so much fun, but what's it like? You know, collecting the figures and that.
It's like, hey, you want to find Pokemon to recruit in your team, catch them throughout the map. It's like, okay, so you get introduced to this world map, and then it's just like, oh, here's these things, you can use them. They're like research tokens or some shit. And then basically you give it a map. You tap a place on the map, and then you'll get a location. So if you tap a part of a forest, for example, you might get a Caterpie, and Caterpie might be the main focus of that forest. Or if you tap the other side of that same very forest, you might find yourself, oh, hey, look, there's a Zapdos there or some shit. Like,
good old that forest Zapdos.
It's just. I played 2 maps of it, and then I just immediately was like, nope. There's 2 other Pokemon games on the mobile platform that are far better, and I would rather spend investing my time in than Pokemon Rumble Rush. It is really, really, really just Pokemon Rumble, but even more Pokemon Rumble than Pokemon Rumble was. It is incredibly boring. I'm sure there are people out there that'll like collecting their mini chibis that never had the Wii U version, which was free, by the way. It was free. Or the 3DS version, which is, again, cheap as anything.
No, it was when Target was closing, yeah.
Well, I'd imagine it'd still be now because it's Pokemon Rumble. It really is just not fun.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
yeah. So not recommended by yourself.
As far as I'm concerned, it's mostly free to play, and like, I'm okay with that. That's alright. I'm sure that they had fun working on it and all that stuff, but I reckon I probably enjoyed the Magikarp game more. And how long did that last? How long did that last realistically?
Yeah, not long, no.
Not long, but a lot of people were training their Magikarp.
Yeah.
A shit ton of people were training their Magikarp.
So that was quite fun. That was just like a bit, like real silly, just very mobile game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and that was really fun. I don't really get that vibe with Pokemon Rumble Rush. I mean, the 2 major Pokemon games at the moment are, and I recommend both of them to a degree. I have had my problems with Go, but most of you would have played Go by now. You would know what to expect, and obviously that is a game you can invest a lot of time in. And it's a lot of fun. The other one is Pokemon Duel, which is a recreation of the Pokemon trading figure game, which is completely extinct now. Like, you can't buy it in any physical form whatsoever, because I would imagine it would have cost a shit ton of money to make. Let's be real here. Figures like cards, that seems like a, real no thanks.
Yeah, especially for the amount of Pokemon that there are.
Exactly right. Yeah. But Pokemon Duel is really fun. In itself, it teaches the basics of the original figure trading game, and you play that game, except it's digital, and that's cool. I think that's great. I had fun when I played that. I've only played like 5 to 8 hours of it, but I actually enjoyed that. I don't know what happened here. Everybody was hyped, and then all of a sudden it was Pokemon Rumble, and then it was like within a week. It was within a week. Hype. Oh, cool. You know, we're going to see another Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I woke up, I saw an article from Vooks about it, saying brand new Pokemon mobile game. I looked at it, Pokemon Rumble. I'm like, okay, put it back down. And I didn't hear about it at all ever again. I don't think anyone really picked it up and played it, apart from... Because I wanted to get it, and then you sent me a message about lunchtime or something, say, yeah, this game's not very good. That's it, pretty much. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
It's incredibly boring, not fun. Just don't bother. You know, it's with so many great Pokemon games already on mobile. I don't know why anybody would pick Rumble Rush over any of the other ones, and that includes Magikarp Splash. There's 3 on there's 3 on the platform, 4 if you count Pokemon Quest.
Yeah, why wouldn't you count Quest?
Well, I mean, it was on Switch as well. You could count it as a Switch game, I guess. But it's just sort of like that's of all the things you could pick. You know, there's 5 games, and you're going to pick Pokemon Rumble. I don't think no.
No.
I'm just I don't know. It was a complete head spin when it come out, because I'm just like, oh great, here we go. You know. So I tried to put my heart into it and say, okay, let's give this a crack. I played 2 things of it. I'm like, if this is the game, I don't want in. If this is the game, I don't want in.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So many more interesting Pokemon games.
Yeah, well, keep playing Pokemon Go. Go for a run. Throw your balls at the monsters that aren't there.
The one I like most is probably Pokemon Duel, if I'm honest. Pokemon Duel's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's one of those games I haven't really. I've tried it a little bit, but I sort of heard about the microtransactions. I'm like, yeah, I sort of shied away from it a little bit just because of that. But
yeah, but you can, if you're in it just to play for the story sort of elements, then it's not too bad.
Okay, yeah,
you know, like Fire Emblem Heroes. If you're in it just for that, you don't have to spend a shit ton of money or anything like that. You don't have to spend money at all if you don't really want.
But I want a shiny Tyranitar.
No, you can hunt a shiny Tyranitar, but I'm not paying for it.
Okay. Anything else you've been playing on Switch? Anything in particular?
Well, a brief word on Swords of Ditto. Just a brief one. I have actually done some playing of the game now, and it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it for the most part. I feel like it might be a little bit sluggish in comparison to Zelda, which is the thing that they made the main draw in comparison to.
Well, as in like combat?
Yeah, combat-wise. I feel like you move around the map really slowly, which makes it feel a little less engaging. The enemies move slowly. They don't really... At the moment, they don't seem to pose a ton of threat, to me at least. Because I haven't really been following the story or anything like that. I've just been exploring.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful, by the way. Like, it's a very, very pretty crafted game.
Yeah, it's so well animated and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And, like, I think the point of it is supposed to be, like, Mormo has turned our reality and age into a dystopian sort of society through cursing the land sort of thing. And it is fun, and I do enjoy the concept of, you know, roguelikes being your sort of main draw. I feel like it's a light roguelike. I don't think it's as punishing as what most are.
Have you died many times?
Once at the start where you're scripted to die, and then once after that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't feel as punishing as most roguelikes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But the point of roguelikes as well is to die and then improve, and then die and then improve as time goes on, and you never end up sort of staying with the same character.
It just feels so harsh in this one, because like so much time goes between each death.
Yeah.
So when you die and like you come back, say 100 years later, you're like, oh god, I feel bad because 100 years of no one fighting this great evil.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not like say like one of the other games where, you know, you jump straight back as like someone else.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Quickly, yeah.
Oh, I mean, Rogue Legacy was sort of like that. It was like,
yeah, had your descendants.
Somebody died, and then you died. Yeah, then your descendant took over, and you know, you inherit from whatever your parent was before you inherit some of their unique ability and all that stuff. And I mean, this is sort of the same, except you just get all your gear back.
Yeah. You got to go and find yourself.
Yeah, you go find yourself, but you get all your gear back and you don't have to worry too much about it, and then you just move on, keep going. But with Rogue Legacy and games like that, it is more punishing if you choose like an air that's not suited for the way you want to play, because then you're sort of stuck with that line until you finish the game. You optimally want to have sort of your route sort of planned in Rogue Legacy, whereas with this, it's sort of just like you pick up your stuff and you keep going.
Yeah,
which is good. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. So
no need to have a ton of pre-planning.
Sort of that trip on the way back to yourself, like that's a bit nerve-wracking depending on where you died. If you're in a dungeon or something, it's like, oh god, you've got to go back to the dungeon. But if you're in the overworld somewhere and it's not too hard to get back to, it's like, all right, you got to think about it, because you don't have all your good stuff with you. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like how at the start of the game too, it sort of like it shows you like what it's like to be powerful with like your weapons and all that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it gives you like pretty much like a big array right off the bat.
Yeah, because before I knew it was a roguelike, I had the boomerang and everything. I'm like, holy crap, they give all this stuff to you straight away. Awesome. Then the story goes on, you die, you're like, all right. Okay.
And then you find out it's a roguelike, you're like, oh, I get it.
Oh. Yeah. Especially, it was so frustrating because I finished the dungeon, I had like half a heart left. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go and find some health. I'm like hitting all these bushes, nothing there. Killing enemies, nothing there. Then I just did like one step wrong, got a bit too close with my sword. He like clipped my hand. I died. I'm like, okay. There goes 100 years worth of progress.
Oh no.
Oh well. maybe the next 100 years, eh?
Maybe the next Sword of Ditto will go on and beat this Mormo of ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really fun. I'm not sure what it's priced on the eShop though.
Yeah, it's $22.50.
$22.50 is not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
It's not too bad,
especially with like all the extra content it's come with now.
Yeah.
Since the update, that's come to other consoles and that as well. But
yeah, I would say like if it sort of piqued your interest and you've had a look and you're sort of into it, when it goes on sale would be the best time to buy it, as with most games. By the way, of course, yeah. But $22.50, if you really can't wait to sort of jump into it, $22.50 is not a bad price.
Oh no, like it
for Swords of Ditto.
Quite a lengthy game too.
It is.
I haven't finished it or anything, but
no, but it's very pretty. There's a lot to do. Obviously, you've only got to look at the overworld to see that there's a bunch of little secrets hidden here and there, and you need specific items for. And again, it is a Zelda-like sort of adventure, meaning that you're going to have to go through a lot of trials and tribulations before you reach the end.
You do have a time limit too, don't you?
I'm not. Good question. I'm not too sure.
I remember reading like an NPC saying like you've got a certain amount of days or time or whatever. I can't remember now because it has been a couple of weeks since I've jumped into it. But yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember that aspect actually. Because a lot of my time was like, oh yeah, I beat the intro sequence and then sort of went off and explored the place. I didn't really go much further than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I spent a lot of time sort of encountering enemies that I could either kill or not kill, or run away from, and just stay away.
Yeah, like go away. I need health.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like I felt like I had so many potions, and I was just like, oh yeah, use it. But I just ran out. And I was like, all right, I need more. I could not find any. I was getting them all the time, and I just ran out.
Then when you need them the most.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, sad violin.
Yeah. Then I changed from dark hair to blonde hair. I'm like, oh
no.
Yeah. I wonder who was my wife in that time to have a different coloured bloody hairstyle. Maybe they dyed it when they were 8, now they're 10, and who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, so you got to ask the important questions as far as your offspring goes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No,
yeah,
you do.
Without a question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think $22.50 is a pretty fair price for it. I'm really enjoying it so far. I think it does have those little Zelda-like tendencies. Again, the combat's sort of a little bit sluggish, but when you're used to playing Zelda, you feel like you're faster I guess.
That's just a different type of game. I really like...
It is a different type of game, but at the same time, it holds similarities. And I mean, that's what they're marketing it as, so I can't really go against them on that, because they're not wrong. It is sort of...
Oh, they market it as that because it's on Switch and people are very aware of what a Zelda type game is.
Yeah, but they're still marketing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So big shout out to Devolver Digital for sending codes to that to us as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's check out your game, yeah.
And Doug Johns, who provided the codes from Devolver Digital, who, thank you very much. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing on my Switch anyway. Oh, one last thing, I guess. Quick shout out, but I already talked about it last week. I did a review for Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. It is my first review in 4 years. So please go easy on me, because it's been a long time since I wrote, and a lot of my writing was done late at night, because that's like the best time for me to write. It is up on dashgamer.com. So I'm not even sure if the House Mario account's retweeted it yet.
Oh, I don't think it has. I don't think it have.
So you better retweet it tomorrow.
Sorry, Bryce. Sorry, Dash. Jeez, I don't think
see, look, listen to this asshole.
No, well, no, I'm just a outright menace.
But long story short with that one, read the review if you want my full opinion.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun with Final Fantasy XII. And Final Fantasy XII TZA, I should probably say, because it is different than the original Western release.
Yeah.
And I do want to thank Bandai Namco for sending sending me and Dash codes for that anyway. So if they ever come across here, then they know that they send that to us, because they were distributing the game for Square Enix in Australia.
Yeah.
So thank you to them.
Yeah. So if you want to read Bryce's review on dashgamer.com, go and check it out in the show notes below. There'll be a link to that.
Yes.
And is that as far as what you've been playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a very big review week for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had the... you...
I bought Crafted World, but I've only played like a level of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amongst the other things that I've had to play, you know.
Yeah. Last night I picked up Team Sonic Racing. I was thinking about buying it, and I checked out like a couple of reviews and that it's gotten quite good reviews. And on the Australian eShop, it's $60, so it's a bit cheaper than a normal full price game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, $60. I'm quite happy, and because I was really after like a kart racer where I can progress, unlock things. Like I've already done all in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
In Mario Kart, all I've got left is basically online and multiplayer, really, with people, which is still great, obviously. But I wanted like a new kart racer to sort of dive into, and the other Sumo Digital Sonic racing games were really good.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I can't deny they're bad games.
Yeah.
I can't deny they're good games.
We knew what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But this, I've probably played about an hour of it just while I was waiting for Bryce to come over to record this.
Yeah.
So I won't have like in-depth thoughts about it until next week when I play a bit more. But from what I've played, I really like it. Obviously playing it on Switch. On Switch, it runs at 30 frames per second, opposed to other consoles where it's 60.
Yeah.
But as far as what I can tell from graphic comparisons and that, like, it looks pretty similar. So if you're worried about graphics on the Switch, that it looks pretty similar. It's a cartoony game, so the Switch, it holds up quite well on weaker hardware. But I guess the hook of this game, it's all team based. There is like a mode that is single player where you can just do normal races and try and win by yourself. But all the items and all the mechanics are based around teamwork. Which at first, when I first heard about it, I'm like, you've got teams in Mario Kart, but that's just, you're still racing for yourself, and at the end your team, like, all your points get put together. It's like, oh, cool,
that team won.
Yeah, that team won. But none of the items or the mechanics are sort of revolving around that. It's just like a bit of a extra thing they've put in there.
Yeah.
But with this game, like, all the items and everything's revolving around it. So, for example, like, it's teams of 3 and there's 12 races, so that's 4 teams all up, and there's like items which do like a trail behind them, and they allow, and you can like boost on them to sort of catch up and go past them. I think it's called like the slingshot or something. So you can like drive on their trail, get boost, and go past them.
Right.
Yeah, and there's like rockets, shields, stuff you can compare to Mario Kart. the rockets are like green shells. Then like the red rockets are like red shells.
Yeah.
Then there's even like a blue item, which is like like a blue shell. And there's I think it's just called. There's an item called the blue box, which is like a fake item box.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, I guess I just thought about it now. Like you got the fake item box, which is it's trying to a decoy to make people go into it and crash. Whereas this, it's a box, but the way you get the items, you don't actually get them through boxes. So I don't really get that. It's just like a blue box you put there, but it's not a decoy because it's not actually trying to trick you into thinking that that's where you get your item.
That's a bit strange.
Yeah, that is a bit strange. I don't know if that's like a thing from a Sonic game. It might be like, I got no idea.
Yeah.
But there's lots of different characters, and they've got different I guess abilities or different types. There's a speed type, a technical type, and a power type.
Yeah.
So your speed type's obviously faster. Your technical's got better drifting and better handling, and your powerful ones like they're
I can knock you off the road without
and
even lifting my pinky finger.
Yeah, and the power one I played is Biggs the cat.
Oh god.
Yeah, I didn't really like the power one. It seems like way too slow and just whatever. Like even in Mario Kart, I'm not a big heavy character guy anyway.
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I think I like the technical one. I played as Silver.
Yep.
He was fun. He was fun to play as. His drifting was quite good. Yeah. And and a few of the mechanics, like when you're starting the races, instead of with Mario Kart it goes 1, 2, then you hold it, then 3, and that's how you get your boost. On this one, you've got to press the accelerator on 1, 2, and 3 to get the maximum amount of boosts. And if you muck up the timing, you lose your boost and you don't get your boost at the start of the race.
Yeah.
And I thought that was quite good. And also you hold the trigger in for your accelerator like a normal a racing game on like a normal
which is
racing.
what you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I'd want Mario Kart to sort of go in that direction where you're just holding the trigger. I guess you've been playing Mario Kart for so many years, just holding an A, but it's hard to know whether you would prefer it going to the actual trigger or not. But
yeah, I feel you.
Probably wouldn't make much difference. Just whatever you get used to. Yeah. So was it left is drift and right is accelerate, and you can flick the stick to do tricks. And unlike tricks in Mario Kart, you can actually fail the trick. So if you do a flip and you land on your roof, you'll lose your rings and you'll slow down.
Right. Okay.
So you've actually got to actually. It's not just hit a trick, get a boost, yay. You've actually got to land it right.
Yeah.
Which I quite enjoyed when I was playing it. And when you do you can do back or forward, and it does different. It handles differently to flicking it left and right. If you flick left or right off of a jump, you actually move to the left or the right, and it can help you maneuver through traffic and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, just my first impressions. I'm quite impressed with it. It's going to be there's heaps of stuff to do. There's a story mode, which I only played one level just to see what it's all about. But basically, has Sonic and his friends. There's some silly story, and it's fully voice acted, and it's just JPEGs popping up, and then it's into the race. Then JPEGs popping up talking about it. Then into the next race, and it's sort of set out like a world map. You just go along, and complete them all.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a decent distraction, the story mode. I think it'll be fine. It's nothing like Diddy Kong Racing or Crash Team Racing when you're actually driving around and all that.
Fun fact.
Yes.
Thanks to the Sonic Racing series, Banjo technically just Banjo has now been kicked out of 2 kart racing game series.
Yeah, I forgot he was in the
because he got kicked out of Diddy Kong Racing in the remake because he became a Microsoft asset, and with Sonic Racing he was in the Xbox version.
Yeah,
but ever since then he's been kicked out of every sequel. Poor Banjo. It just came to my attention when you mentioned Diddy Kong Racing just then. I'm thinking of because I used to play as Banjo all the time in Diddy Kong Racing for obvious reasons. And then I was thinking about it, I'm wait, wasn't he also in Sega Racing, whatever the fuck it was called back then? Which was the original version of that
Sega All-Star Racing.
Yeah, which was the original version of that Sonic racing game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So poor Banjo. I hope he makes it to Smash.
Yeah. So all the team stuff, I think it's going to be really interesting once I get used to the items and mechanics and that, sort of the team play you can use. I think it's going to be really cool if you got someone ahead and you're actually communicating with them, you can drop your slingshot, so you get the boost. You go past them, you use like your item, and you can actually. I don't know how you do it, but I noticed the NPCs were doing it to me. They can actually give you items. You can swap items amongst you.
Right.
So if someone's ahead of you and you've got the slingshot, which is going to be useless for you for the whole team, you can give it to them. They use it, then it pushes you up, and it boosts you and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, this is actually quite good because
pretty smart.
Yeah, like I said, like initially when I was like, oh, it's all team racing. Like I don't know if I like that because in Mario Kart, the team racing's just kind of meh. But this is all based around it.
Yeah.
Even to the point when you're playing solo, when you're doing like the mode where you're just racing by yourself, it feels like so bland.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously the mechanics aren't built for that, but
yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it. If anybody else has this on Switch, hit me up and we'll play some online and get used to it together. Yeah,
sure, why not?
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like for $60 at launch in Australia, I think that's quite good.
That is pretty good. Yeah,
because I was thinking like, because on the lead up to it coming out, I'm like $80. I'm like, oh, I might pay $80, but oh god, it's got to be pretty good, like a pretty good racer for $80.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was a bit worried about the 30 frames per second because Mario Kart, you know, we used to looking at that's 60 on the Switch.
Yeah.
But, you know, it looks fine. It looks good.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I can play as my bigster cat and I can have a great time.
Where's Froggy? Where's Froggy?
I don't know. Who's Froggy?
Oh, my God. You really need to play 06. Oh, wait, no, that was Adventure 2. Yeah.
Do I have to? Do I really need to?
I mean, yeah.
Do I need to know who Froggy is? I just asked.
It's a frog. It swallowed a Chaos Emerald, okay? That was the point of the frog.
Oh.
So the entire arc of playing Biggs the Cat in Sonic Adventure 2 was trying to fish up Froggy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean...
it was some of the most... It was some of the most infuriating content in a video game ever. And you've only got to watch Game Grumps reruns to see why.
Okay. Is that how you experienced it? You just watched it
No,
online?
I actually did play it,
I
gave up on that shit pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know, because I never even looked.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe I should put down Team Sonic Racing and maybe get some backstory on that.
Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure.
Burn it down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play the whole series, all 10 of them. I don't know how many there are.
You can do City Escape.
Yeah.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Actually, that's another thing. The music is quite good in the game too.
It is in most Sonic games.
Yeah, because Sonic games have good music.
They do. They have good music because there's just like trashy teenager 90s music and it's great. But it's also like, oh god. Oh, it's bringing back the cringe nerves. Oh. You know.
So, Bryce, you reckon we should wrap up the show?
Yeah, I think it'd probably be a good time.
Yeah. Yes. Everybody, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 98. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter or keep up with the show, Bryce, where can they find you?
At IV Revan.
And you can find me at iDruby and the show at the House of Mario. And if you enjoyed the show, leave us a review on iTunes. And if you really enjoyed us and you want to hear more, why not subscribe on your podcast player of choice?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah. And if you're interested in joining our community, there's a link to our Discord in the show notes. Discord, though. And, of course, we are part of the 8-Bit Collective. A bunch of podcasters from mainly Australia coming together to put some good quality
sausage rolls in your ears.
Sausage rolls in your ears. I don't know if I like the idea of a sausage roll in my ear.
Yeah,
is it straight out the oven?
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Nice and warm.
Oh, a warm sausage.
Like wearing earmuffs, except it's inside your ears too.
Does it have tomato sauce on it?
Yes.
Oh, extra 20 cents. I don't know how I feel about that. So yeah, anyway, 8-Bit Collective. Go and check everyone else out, 8bit.net. And Bryce, let's queue up the Nintendo Jukebox this week. It is a Mario Kart Rainbow Road for orchestra.
Ooh.
By Walt Ribeiro.
Walt Ramiro.
It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'll take your word on it.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.